This is THV 11 News at 6.
Some early voting numbers are in, and Pulaski County is already outpacing turnout from 4 years ago. Thank you for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Brooke Buckner. In the state's most populated county, many Democratic voters in the state deciding who will take on Republican incumbents this fall. But as THV 11's Tanya Motorzitsky looks at the changes this year in the GOP primary those voters may face.
Before Arkansas voters ever touch a ballot, the choices they offer depend on party registration. Arkansas GOP is holding a partially closed primary, meaning not all voters are eligible to vote in the same races. Election officials say that distinction is more noticeable this year as voting numbers climb. What this means for voters in this election cycle is that registered Democrats are prohibited from voting in Republican primary races. This is a new rule. In the past, primary elections have been open, allowing voters to vote on either Republican or Democratic ballots. The Democrat primaries are still open. I spoke with Pulaski Circuit and County Clerk Terry Hollingsworth about a potential reason for this change.
It does not address voter fraud or whether or not it helps voters. It certainly helps the Republican Party know that those folks who are actually voting in their primary are actual Republicans, or at least have registered as Republicans.
Now, if you are registered nonpartisan, you can vote on either ballot. Hollingsworth says there is time to change party affiliations if you wish.
Someone can go to the voting polls, and they can actually switch their party if they want to. But I would tell you that by and large, most people are registered optional on the voter registration data. There are some who've actually put Republican or Democrat, but they can also see that information if they pull up VoterView.
In Pulaski County, Tanya Motorzitsky, THV 11 News.
Tanya, thank you. And a reminder, no matter which party you choose, the nonpartisan races will show up on your touchscreen when you enter the voting booth. And if you live in Sherwood or North Little Rock, you may also have the candidates in the special election for House District 70 to choose from as well. We've been following the top races across the state since early voting began last week, previewing not only the primaries happening now, but looking ahead to major races voters will decide on this November, like governor and representatives in Congress. If you missed any of them, you can find them on THV11.com or streaming on THV11 Plus.
Well, statewide, it turned out to be a very cold day today. The coldest day that we're going to have over the next 7 to 10 days. Probably the coldest day we're going to have for the foreseeable future. Beautiful sunset outside, a smoky sunset at that. The sunset here, and you can see the plumes of smoke from this afternoon's prescribed burns over in western Pulaski County. Yeah, we still have a little bit of smoke, but other than that, it was a gorgeous day. A lot of sunshine, just on the chilly side. 32 is now the temp in Jonesboro. We've dropped to 45, still 56 Texarkana. We are going to get a slug of warmer air beginning tomorrow, but we got one more frigid night to get through as lows drop off into the middle to upper 20s in central Arkansas. Little Rock proper 27. You get outside of Little Rock, you go to Ferndale, maybe you go up to Marche, it could be 25 or 26. Just plan on a cold start tomorrow, but temperatures tomorrow afternoon will manage the low 60s. Here are the projected lows tonight. We'll see a few low 20s out there under mainly clear skies. Again, a nice warming trend is on the way, and we're trying to find a little more rain. Burn bans to talk about in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Tom. New details tonight from police about a stabbing in Conway. We're now learning the victim, 36-year-old Brendan Lambert, died from his injuries. The stabbing happened yesterday morning on Dave Ward Drive. 42-year-old Melvin Jackson was arrested just minutes after the incident. He's now being charged with capital murder. Police say they believe the two knew each other and the stabbing happened during an argument. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office also just telling us today about a shooting on Company Street over the weekend. They say it happened early Saturday morning. Police found 35-year-old Ricky Manning shot on the porch of a home. Authorities have not released any further information on the incident or a potential suspect. There's a water crisis this afternoon in Woodruff and Cross County in eastern Arkansas, and the governor has called in the National Guard to help. A post from the Woodruff County Sheriff's Department said they will help after people in McCrory reported trouble, including discolored water. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders sent a two-person team from the 39th Infantry Brigade Combat Team to provide potable water for up to 3 days. They'll be stationed at the McCrory Water Tower with a 400-gallon water buffalo, as well as bottled water at the Cross County plant south of Morton. The Arkansas Department of Health says flu cases are still on the rise across the state, but compared to this time last year, the numbers are lower. In Northwest Arkansas, some school districts say they're seeing that same trend. Claire Everbach shares what school and health officials are seeing.
The director of nursing for Siloam Springs Schools tells me while they're still seeing students come in with flu-like symptoms, they're not seeing as many fevers or as many students sent home sick compared to last year. She says education and daily cleaning protocols have been a big focus this flu season. State health officials also say small prevention steps can make a big difference. School nurses in Siloam Springs say they've been reminding students and parents to wash their hands frequently, cover coughs and sneezes, and stay home until they're symptom-free for at least 24 hours. The district is also disinfecting classrooms daily to help cut down on the spread of germs. And at the state level, the Arkansas Department of Health says the flu can spread easily by touching contaminated surfaces. While simple habits like hand washing and coughing into your elbow are effective, they say the most important step people can take to protect themselves and others is getting the flu vaccine.
It's extremely important that people do take advantage of getting the flu vaccine, and they can go to their, primary care physician, or they can go to any local health department, any local health unit with the Department of Health and receive a flu vaccine for free.
Claire, thank you. With flu season typically peaking in January and February, it's not quite over yet. Even if you haven't gotten the vaccine yet, health officials say it's not too late to do so. Nationwide, the CDC says nearly 1,000 measles cases have been confirmed in the first 2 months of 2026. The number of confirmed cases so far this year is already nearing the total number of cases identified all of last year. More than half of those cases come from a major outbreak in South Carolina, where there have been more than 600 cases. Good news for us here in Arkansas, 0 confirmed cases so far this year after 8 positive tests in 2025. Medicaid beneficiaries must soon comply to new work and community engagement requirements. The program will apply to healthy adults enrolled in AR Home, the state's Medicaid expansion, often called the private option. You'll be required to volunteer or attend classes for at least 20 hours per week. The Department of Human Services will launch a soft implementation starting July 1st.
It's just important to get customers ready and also to just help them use this as an opportunity to increase, their earnings, their earning potential, find a career, and gain independence.
These new requirements differ slightly from those put in place in Arkansas back in 2018. Back then, failure to check in resulted in people losing their coverage. This time, the state says it will suspend coverage while working with beneficiaries to get into compliance. Arkansas tourism is booming, and state leaders say the natural state is just getting started. At the governor's conference on tourism in Little Rock, industry leaders celebrated another record-breaking year. More than 52 million people visited Arkansas last year, spending a record $10.3 billion statewide. Governor Sanders called tourism the state's second largest economic driver, fueling small businesses and communities from the Delta to the Ozarks.
This work is exactly what Brian and I had in mind when we started the Natural State Initiative at the beginning of my administration. Leveraging the assets we already have to enhance experiences and make Arkansas a truly world-class, first top-of-mind destination.
The record numbers in Arkansas come despite slowdowns in other parts of the country, blamed on fewer international visitors coming to the U.S. last year. Whiteout conditions and record-breaking snowfall to our north. After the break, the historic blizzard and the travel nightmare.
Just glad it's them and not us, because Brooke Buckner wants sunshine and warmer temperatures.
That's right.
So even though this might be all a lie, it's all for Brooke.
Thank you, Tom.
I'm just kidding. It's not a lie.
Yeah, don't lie to me.
We're going to be about 15 degrees warmer tomorrow than we were today. We reached 47, sunshine and a windy day tomorrow, and then a little rain coming up on Thursday. I'll have that forecast.